Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to analyzing the stories that we read out to you. Our guest on the show today is Olumuyiwa Onlede, who is the Executive Director, Citizens Awareness Against Corruption. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Great. All right, viewers, like I said, our phone lines are now open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions. But remember to stay away from your TV sets so we can hear each other. In 1 minute to every caller. All right, quite a number of stories. So I'd like us to, before, let's see how we can manage the next 40 minutes. And then in all of the national dailies has the same headline that talks about the budget padding that started yesterday. All of the headline, we're carrying it yesterday. So now this time it's having a different perspective. The Punch newspaper says parties demand 3.7 trillion naira padding probe. Northern senators disown Ningi. Embattled senator insists on massive padding allegation. Lawmakers and parties seek sanction and investigation. But if you look at other newspapers this morning, New Telegraph says 2024 budget padding, Ningi in trouble as 7 more Northern senators disown him. And then coming from Ningi, he says he was quoted out of context, says he spoke for himself and not for the Northern senators. There's a particular headline that I saw that talked about where the presidency is saying that there are some people that are trying to ensure that the dividend of democracy does not work, or they're trying to destroy President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reign. I'm trying to look, okay, that's it. I was actually rephrasing it. So Vanguard newspaper says sub-regional forces working to destabilize Nigeria. That is coming from the presidency. And then yesterday I remember them also stating that it is the senators that padded the budget, not President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because what he was given was different from what returned back. Let's start with this. As the citizen, as the executive director with regards to citizen awareness on corruption, what are your thoughts on this?
Those are two different stories, if I understand it very well. So the presidency said some sub-regional forces, they are trying to undermine Nigerian peace and tranquility.
Yes, that's on security. So I'm actually returning back what they said yesterday with regards to the budget padding. That's why I added that.
Okay. The issue of budget padding is something that should be looked into. That is my own opinion, because that is allegation of corruption, mega corruption, so to say, and it should be looked into. And I've always had problem with the system that we run. I've asked questions in the past. The parliament is a watchdog on other arms of government to some certain extent, especially the executive. Then who does oversight function on the parliament? In this kind of situation.
Is it not, are there no principle of checks and balances? One is washing the hands of the other?
There's no way you can carry out oversight function on yourself. It's not possible. So in this kind of situation that we find ourselves, the National Assembly, somebody, a senator, a ranking senator, laid an allegation. So the good thing to do is to set up a committee, which has not been done. Now, if you are setting up a committee, it is the principle of transparency and accountability will not allow you to set up a committee that will only involve the Senate, members of the Senate, because everybody has his own bias. Within the Senate, there are people supporting the Senate president, there are people supporting opposition parties. So what I'm trying to say is, if there's going to be a committee, then the committee must involve whether the media, the civil society, and maybe 1 or 2 persons from Accountant General office, or somebody from the office, from the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. That is the only way Nigerians can get results. We've not been able to get results because we don't do things the right way.
But then you see Daily Sun says budget padding allegation. Akpabio's men fight back.
That is it.
Plot against Ningi.
That is not what we want. That's not what we want. We want the Nigerians wants to get to the root of the matter. Is Ningi saying the truth?
So why do
is he not saying the truth?
So why do you have people like Senator Jim or Ibrahim saying that he should be prosecuted immediately? Does it look? Is it now a thing?
That is the buyer that I'm talking about. That is the buyer that I'm talking about. Has the allegation been investigated and found not to be true? Has the allegation been investigated and found to be true? We don't know where we stand as a people. But as politicians, we are not politicians. I am not a politician. I'm not a card-carrying member of any political party. But those that are card-carrying members of a political party, we always take a stand. Even as a stand like this, nobody has investigated anything. Nobody has been able to prove. Nobody has been able to analyze based on the budget. Ningi has not been able to analyze to us line by line in the budget where the 3-point-something trillion is not. He said it's not traceable to any project. Now it should give us the agencies where the budget is being padded. It should give us the ministries under which the budget is being padded. Then, if he brings out those facts, then the other side should come out to tell us that no, this money is attached to so and so project. So in the absence of that, I just see politics and nothing more.
But haven't we always been on this trajectory of budget padding all along? Almost all administration looks like anytime you don't hear about it, it means it is favoring people. Our backs are being scratched properly. Let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Collins from Otukpo, Benue State.
Collins from Otukpo, Benue State. It's great to hear from you again.
Thank you. Longest time.
Go ahead, please.
I want to ask the analyst in the studio. Is there anybody that is above the law? That is my first question. Okay, fine. To me personally, I see that all our politicians, our senators, our House of Rep, our governors, and even in the presidency, they are above the law. You see, there was a particular boy that was caught stealing a bread. And as I'm talking to you now, he's in jail for 6 months. But in the essence of Nigerian politics, even if you steal billions, trillions, you are still free to go. So where are we heading to? Look at the condition of the nation today. Now we are getting close to rainy season. Now everybody is preparing for farming for the next season. Most of my places now from Madoka down to apart towards Agatut side, there are so many people who could not go to their farm. One, that is because of insecurity of thing. Two, the money, the chemical we used to buy before at the rate of 900 naira is around 6,000 something now.
Oh wow.
Transport, some people they do go to their village towards to go Juadoka to get to their farm. Formerly they will do transport from go here to that place at the rate of 200 naira. And as we are talking, it's around 1,200 naira. The problem we are facing now is because of the power cycle that is regulating. That is why you see to it that each time the electionary period is coming up, they want to do everything just to get to that seat. Even if people are dying, it's not their problem. So what are we saying in essence? Look at our fuel. The liter of fuel now is 700 naira in my place here. I don't know other places. Somebody that is going to farm, towards the next season, that is not reaping now, and is not feeding fine. How can he get to buy fuel, just even a liter to get to his farm? All these problems, they are not put together and be analyzed and give a final solution. I'm telling you, we are heading to nowhere.
Thank you so much,
Please, that first question, I want to know if there are certain people that are above the law, good and fine. Let's read the poor masses get to know exactly what we are facing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Collins from Otuko. Great to hear from you again. All right. I think he threw it.
Yes, Mr. Collins, there's nobody, as far as Nigeria Constitution is concerned, that is above the law. Nobody is above the law. But what we see is the political class. They have designed a way of administering the law in such a way that it will favor some set of people and go against the poor masses. And that is what we are saying, that you cannot make the law and administer the law on yourself. That is what we are saying. The parliament should not be the one to carry out oversight function on themselves.
Are you saying that they broke the law and then they want to be
no,
the judge and the jury?
No, yeah, yes, a senator Abdul Nengi, laid an allegation that somebody broke the law. Some people broke the law. A set of people broke the law. The parliament broke the law. Whichever way you want to see it.
But how are we so sure that it's from the parliament? If some other persons, like the guest I had yesterday, talked about how some of these things even come even from the ministry, departments, and agencies.
No.
Some even
he said it was quoted out of context that he never said there are two budgets running at the same time. That alone has exonerated anybody outside the parliament. That means the budget that was passed in the parliament is the budget that he is talking about, that 3.something trillion is not traceable to any project. I don't know whether you understand. He said it was quoted out of context. He never said there are two budgets. If he has insisted there are two budgets, that means the budget passed by the parliament is different from the budget that is being used by the executive. But he said he never said so.
But
now,
the presidency, yes, what we read yesterday, the presidency
that was
out to say that what Tinubu passed was different from what is seen now. So where is the crux coming from?
No, the executive do not pass budgets. You submit budgets to the parliament.
What he submitted was 25 trillion naira.
Yes.
And what they are saying is 27 trillion naira.
The parliament is empowered to add and subtract based on the fact that they are representatives of the people. If they see that this and this will be to the benefit of the people and the masses and the country, they can say, oh no, Ministry of Science and Technology, you are supposed to have a technology hub in Abia State, so that the industrial people of Abia State will benefit from it. They can add it. That is not a wrong thing. But there, Abdul Nigi is saying, Senator Abdul Nigi is saying, 3.something trillion is not traceable to any project. That is what we want the parliament to investigate. But they cannot do it alone. They must involve a neutral body. They must involve a neutral institution. They must involve neutral persons that will not have any bias, that are not politicians, to look into it. Just the way it is very possible during President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, when there is need for extensive investigation about any allegation, the Attorney General do involve civil society organizations to join. Like, for example, the Magus panel, the panel that investigated Magu, there was a slot for civil society organization there. So that is what we are talking about. Because what we see now is purely politics. Throwing banters is purely politics.
Fireworks.
You are in the same political party, but you are in different camps. You are not in the same political party, so you have every reason to throw banters to yourself. But involve people that are not politicians, people that do not belong to any political party, to look at this allegation, because we want to know, citizens want to know, like Mr. Collins said, is there anybody above the law? An allegation has been made. People must investigate, we must investigate. We must get to the root of it, and if anybody is found culpable, they must be brought to book. That is the principle of equality and justice. But if we are not seeing that as a people, the citizens will not have the confidence in government. They will not have the confidence in the people that governs them. That, oh, you are really governing us based on our interest, not your own interest alone. So the man wants to know, what is somebody stole bread and now is in jail for 6 months? That's quite unfortunate, because if I am a judge, I have and I have the opportunity of giving him community service as a punishment. I'll do that ahead of sending him to jail. Because just look at it. If you go to a restaurant and you eat as much as you want and you couldn't pay, most restaurants will not take you to jail. They will not prosecute you. They will make you work to offset the bill that you have accumulated. That is the way it works.
That is if it's all of them that would actually make you work, because most of them
will make you work. And it's the same thing. If the judge make you go for community service, is it not better than for you to steal bread?
All right, let's go to other stories. Still on corruption. I see this story with regards to Emefiele's case. I'm actually looking for where I saw that story, but then it actually talks about a witness. Okay, first, 2 different stories, but I'd like you to take them together. Senate begins probe of Buhari's 30 trillion naira Ways and Means loan. Senate President Tax Committee on thorough investigation. It looks like investigations everywhere. And then I actually saw another one that should be on Daily Times. Says Emefiele approved 45 CBN contracts for wife. And I saw another one that actually talked about where some of the ways, apart from the Ways and Means, they are talking of the farmer money, the anchor borrowers program, that there's so much corruption in that. Do you actually see any headway with all of these investigations coming forth? And then I hear someone say that this Emefiele's matter is now looking like a political vendetta. Do you see it as that?
No, not at all. Not at all. But I see it as a failure. All the revelations that we are getting now is failure of the system. The media, the civil society, the anti-graft agencies that could not do anything, that could not see all these things for 7 years. It's quite unfortunate. Because for 7 years, what we get to know is for 7 years, there was no audit report of the CBN. So transparency and accountability was dead during Emefiele's tenure as CBN governor. Anything you are running without transparency and accountability, you are meant to lead into negativity. Emefiele has led CBN into negativity. Anchor borrowers, the Ways and Means, there was no transparency. Those things were important policies that would have cushioned the effect of hardship being experienced.
Did you see it as that?
Then.
Did you see it as that?
Government agencies, government appointees, elected officials, they have always devised means of favoring themselves in every policy that is brought out to favor the masses. At the end of the day, the masses end up getting nothing from all those policies. The policies are sold to us as policies that will favor the masses, but at the end of the day, only a few individuals will benefit from those things. Anchor borrowers, if you look at those anchor borrowers, those funds, at the end of the day, most of those funds will go into individual pockets of people that knows nothing about farming, people that are not interested in farming. If you look at the Ways and Means, at the end of the day, the money will be shared and it will go into the pockets and accounts of individuals, which is quite sickening. It is quite unfortunate. There's nothing wrong with so many policies by different governments, but the implementation of those policies, those are the problems. At the end of the day, you say this policy is targeted at alleviating poverty. This policy is targeted at pulling people out of poverty. This policy is targeted at making 1 million Nigerians millionaires. But at the end of the day, you end up making a millionaire a billionaire.
So are you saying that nothing wrong? I hear you say nothing is wrong with some of those policies.
Nothing is wrong.
So you say
implementation.
So you're saying that anchor borrowers, farmer money, trader money, giving Lagos residents 1,500 naira food every day, for depending on where your local government area is, or sharing palliatives. All of these policies are actually good steps in the right direction. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, including subsidy that was removed. Is there any country? Is there any country in the world that do not subsidize one or two things? But the implementation, we find it difficult to implement policies. Food, yes. There are people in the United States that get meal tickets. They eat food for free.
So if these policies are good, they've been reeled out over time since after the subsidy is gone. A statement made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All these palliatives, the 8,000 which was later removed, if they were so good, how come they're not working?
Because of implementation. Because of implementation. This man that called from Benue, he said what they used to buy for 900 naira is now 6,000 naira. The transportation is now so. If you cannot even subsidize transport, now you look at those insecticides or pesticides. As a governor, if I am the governor of Benue State, I will subsidize those things for the farmer so that they can produce more. Then you now look at how the production will favor the people of Benue State. Because that's another thing. If I subsidize, I'm going to sign a MOU with the Farmers Association. If I subsidize, so percentage of your produce will be sold within the state. What about that? There's no country in the world where they don't subsidize. In Libya, during Muammar Gaddafi, they subsidized, before they went into war, they subsidized cars. Cars. In Libya. Cars. For people to get mobile. They subsidize cars. So what is difficult? We say, okay, in 2024 budget, Benue State government is marking 30 billion to subsidize seeds and pesticides, so that farmers will be able to grow more, so that if we cannot feed ourselves, we are not even talking about exporting farm produce to Niger and other countries, which is something we are supposed to be doing. As the giant of Africa, we are supposed to be exporting to Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, Niger Republic, Chad, Cameroon. When I say export, I mean export that would drive, investment exports, not export, not smuggling. But we can't do that. We can't even feed ourselves. We have arable land. We have not cultivated 50% of our arable land. Insecurity has taken a toll on what the farmers are producing. They cannot go to farm. They are being sabotaged. Those that can go to farm are being made to pay dues to farmers, to bandits and terrorists. Those that can produce, for them to harvest, they are being made to pay ransom for them to be able to harvest their farm produce.
All right. Let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Good morning. Collins from Otupo, Benue State.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You have less than 1 minute.
Yeah, I want to tell the analysts and everybody listening to this program one thing. If we want to get it right, one, now we are in the administration of APC, which maybe by His grace we can have them for the next maybe 7 years, because they are closing to 1 year now. But if we want to get it right, we'll start probing from the top, I mean from the president down even to councillors in the world. If we are not going to do that, then forget about anything that corruption will be eradicated. Okay, let's look to it now. During Buhari era, we happen to hear that they bought the aviation minister or something of that nature. They bought an airplane, paint in Nigeria's color, brought to Nigeria, but at the end, when they are leaving the government, it was returned back to Ethiopia. Up to date, nobody's saying anything about it because it is their clique. Start the probing from the president. If Tinubu wants to get it right, and if democracy cannot get it right, good and fine. The military can get it right, whether I like it or yes. Even if you are their son or their father, they will probe you down to your roots. The earlier the better. We started it from this government. If possible, if we can start it from Buhari, fine. If we can start it from 99, good and fine. Let all our resources that are being stolen. Okay, look at during time. Alice Mbadwike, the former Minister of Petroleum, up to date, nothing is heard from there. We are supposed to hear how much the son used to spend a day. And we are here, so people cannot even get a square meal.
Collins, we'll have to let you go.
Not only those things are put together. The masses are angry. Anything can come up.
Thank you so much, Collins. Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning, Elder Zion from Jos.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want to comment still on the security.
Please go ahead.
Just on Friday, there was this analyst on the journalist hangout TVC News. He was telling Nigerians that more than 8 local governments in Borno State are under Boko Haram. The Nigerian Army for security personnel are never there. They extract money from people, levy them before they go to their farm. That the only government that is available in that area. Then it's not only there. If you go to Katsina, Kebbi, and even some part of Niger State, Nigeria has lost so many local governments to the bandits. Then you start asking yourself, if this thing is so, whereas the president wrote an oath when he was inaugurated to defend the integrity, territorial integrity of Nigeria, why is he not doing it? And what is the National Assembly doing about that? Please let the analysts help us to answer this question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder Zion. Great to hear from you. All right, I'm sure you heard what he stated with regards to insecurity.
Yes, that we have quite a number of our local governments in the hand of terrorists.
Bandits.
You call them bandits, I call them terrorists, because any group, they have been designated as terrorists anyway. It's quite unfortunate that this set of people, mostly illiterates, could calm themselves in villages, rocks and bushes without being traceable, without the security agencies being able to trace them. It's quite unfortunate, because what I know is these people, they use telecommunication gadgets, and what we were made to understand is that as long as you are using phone, you can be traced to anywhere you are. Why is it difficult for them to be traced? Can you imagine those people demanding for 40 trillion? From who?
From
is it from the parents? Is it from the school? Is it from the state government? Is it from the federal government? Demanding for bikes, demanding for... How much is Nigeria budget? Nigeria budget is 28 trillion. Then terrorists are demanding for 40 trillion. I think the military should make a statement.
Okay,
our security agencies will make a statement.
I was going to ask you, because you talked about the security agencies, and I hear what they actually said in one of the headlines, but we'll take that. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Are you there? Okay, I think I should let you go. All right. So
the security agencies should make a statement, not in the media, but with their arms and ammunitions. They should make a statement and let the whole world hear what blow they have dealt on these terrorists.
The same security agencies that says Olumuyiwa SCDC is saying that we have prevented over 61 planned attack on schools. Defense is saying we are not the lead agency. The police is planning special protection squad. If the security agencies, this one is throwing blame, it is I am not the lead agency, the other one says I have tried my best but this is what it is, and the other person says that we are planning, we are working, but let me use the Igbo parlance that say Akam Denoro Monra Gadaga is like my hands are on so many jobs but yet it's not moving. What then do you do? Are they not the one that say something?
No, the head of those agencies should come together and form a synergy, because we are in a situation that the Portuguese call non guerra, non paz, no war and no peace. It's a deceptive calm. So they should forget about protocol, form synergy between themselves.
What head are you talking about? This
head of all security
chief staffs?
Yes.
The chief of staffs or
head
the service chiefs?
The service chiefs. They should form a synergy and forget about who is in charge and who is not in charge. Unless they work together, we will not make any headway. Because you cannot say you are not in charge and you are fortunate to be around a scene where an act of terrorism is being perpetrated and you say you are not in charge. And you say until you get order from so and so before you act. No. If a school is to be attacked and the people around there, they are trying to make calls, and it is the call to the military that goes through first. So will the military say they are not in charge? They are supposed to respond. And I think that is not the situation. I think in Kogi State, there was a robbery attack on some banks. And I think the military around there, they responded. And they were able to repel the attack. So that is what we want to see. You don't wait for others in this kind of situation.
So if you say that is not the situation,
we are not interested. Nigerians are not interested in what they are putting in the media. They want action. Action is what we want.
Okay,
we want them to make statement by their actions.
If you say that is not the issue of them saying that they are not in charge, have you gone through a situation where you call 911? There's a fire accident and then you're being referred to another, the namer is telling you it is not our jurisdiction, call another one? Or have you gone through any situation where you are in I remember Dr. Lomefo giving us his story, saying how he was robbed and there was police presence at that place, but they were watching it happen and then they said that place is not our own jurisdiction, this is our own jurisdiction. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
And then you said that's not the problem.
No, see, there are individual differences. In most of military formations, they have commandants. And I think some of them are ready to work, some of them are not ready to work. Because I just gave you an example of what happened last week in Kogi State, Ayangba precisely. The military responded. They responded immediately. And they were able to neutralize some of the robbers. So, that is a different scenario. But in some other scenario, they may not respond. So, that means people are working based on their conviction within a military formation, which is not supposed to be so. So if we are not supposed to be biased, when we analyze, we are not supposed to be biased. When you are supposed to give kudos, you give kudos. Because, you know, these military men and these security agents are human beings like us.
Oh, so that means now you're accepting the fact that these things happen. Because initially you said that's not the issue.
Yes, it happens.
Okay.
But on the other hand, we can cite example of where they responded. So we must balance the two. It is not in our place to give a blanket judgment.
But now you're just giving a balanced situation.
Yes,
because initially you said it doesn't happen. That's why I had to bring you those examples.
In some situations, sorry, it doesn't happen in some situations. In some instances, it doesn't happen. That's what I'm trying to say. In some instances, it doesn't happen. But what I'm trying to avoid is to give a balance, just like the man called from Otukpo and said, security agents. No. And I think we are not being fair to them. They're giving a blanket judgment on them and say, oh, all of them are not working, all of them are not. It's just as if you are saying all Nigerians are corrupt. That is not fair enough. That is not fair enough. We must not dampen the spirit of those that are working by giving a blanket judgment that they're not doing anything. We must be very careful. Opinion leaders must be very careful. There are people that will go to speak based on how they want the government of the day to be portrayed. I don't belong to the same school of thought with them. Where the security agencies are working, we must try to appreciate them. We must appreciate their sacrifices, and we must, if not because of them, terrorists will have overrun this country. And that is what I know. I've traveled to so many countries, including Northeast, ever since we had this issue of insecurity. I've traveled to Northwest ever since we had this issue of bandits. And I can see the presence of these people. But within the ranks of these security agencies and security agents, we have saboteurs. We have saboteurs. We have those that are not ready to work. We have those.
So is it possible for the agency to fish out the bad eggs in their basket?
Why not? Why not? You recruited them.
So why do you think that these things are not happening?
You must.
Because that's why they say that in every situation there's always the benefactors.
Yes, yes. I believe most of these disciplinary actions are not being reported in the media, and I believe there are so many individuals, there are so many head of agencies, security agencies, especially the military, that believes releasing corporates within the ranks of military formations to the society will cause more damage. I had the opportunity of talking to a friend who is in the military, and he said when somebody does things like this, like financial crime within the system, that releasing him with the training he has attained, with so many things he knows about his security, releasing him to the society will cause more harm and more damage to the citizens. And I told that school of thought. So what should be done to such person? I told that school of thought, if you can rehabilitate terrorists and reintegrate them back into the society, why not security agents? Why not security agents? So we can sit here in the studio and say, oh, if anybody is, sack them, destroy them, do this, kill them. No. Things doesn't work that way. We are in a very bad situation as a country, okay, security-wise, because
I'll bring question to you.
Why we are having problem with feeding ourselves, high cost of food, is because we cannot produce. I can tell you categorically that the North, to 80% has been feeding the country. But today, the North goes to the South to source for grains. The North go to the South to source for grains, because if you go to Katsina, those rearing goats, those farming grains, most of them have been killed. Those that are not killed, they cannot go to farm. Those that can go to farm, they spend more to grow those crops. They spend more to grow those grains. Okay. When they grow them, they spend money to harvest them, because they pay terrorists to go to farm to harvest their crops.
Our time is fast spent, so we need to wrap up this program. But I will bring Colin's question to you again.
Okay.
Is it that does the law cover some persons and it doesn't cover some persons? When someone steals Maggie, he's being charged to court. If you go to the jail, or to the prisons. A lot of people are waiting trial for years. But then you have some high-profile people who have been there, and then they've been released, and some of them even have the gumption to even contest for public offices. And I hear you say when a security agencies does something wrong or is found infiltrating the process, that he should be rehabilitated, because after all, the terrorists have been rehabilitated. Are you not saying same for these same people who have been in jail for years awaiting trial? Are you not seeing same thing for people like those who have been charged for corrupt cases and all? Why does it look like the law stays for some set of people and it doesn't for the other set of people?
I want to correct you about those that were in jail and they are out and they are contesting. No. If when you are convicted, you won't be able to contest. That is what the law says. But the law, those that made the law in any country, they made the law to be a blanket law over everybody. It covers everybody. Nobody should be above the law. But because of corruption, we see those that are supposed to administer the law, they help accused persons evade justice. They help accused persons beat the hammer of the law, which is quite unfortunate. And that alone unsettles any country, because the citizens will not have confidence in any arm of government. The citizens do not have confidence in the judiciary. They don't have confidence in the parliament. They don't have confidence in the executive arm of government. The citizens do not have confidence that if a rich man tramples on the right of a poor person, the poor person cannot seek redress in the court, because it is assumed that the rich man will always get judgment. Once there is that kind of situation in any country, then there's bound not to be peace in that country, because you have said it all, that there's a difference between the rich and the poor, and unless you close the gap, not making everybody rich, closing the gap does not mean making everybody rich. Okay. Close the gap by saying that whenever you trample on the right of anybody, no matter how poor, you are going to be brought to justice. Okay,
that's you saying, that's you contradicting yourself, because you said when the security agency is being found infiltrating, they should be sent for they should be reintegrated.
Rehabilitated, I said. Rehabilitated.
Okay.
They should be rehabilitated. You cannot just removed. You cannot just removed. It's just like a drug addict. Okay. A drug addict can be rehabilitated. The MBLA has successfully rehabilitated so many people, and they are back into the society doing well right now. You understand? But if you judge them, you have never seen an insane man becoming sane again and do well?
We have to go. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much, Olumuyiwa Onlede, Executive Director, Citizen Awareness Against Corruption. It's been a wonderful time having you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, viewers, that's where we end this conversation for today. We'll continue again tomorrow. I will see you again. My name is Annabel Orji. Whatever you do, please stay safe. And like we always say, see something, say something. I'll see you again tonight on The Conversation by 8 p.m. My name is Annabel Orji. Good morning.